My complete name, Ellapan Venkatesan. My job profile, CEO of EMURGO Academy. Cardano event always we're very eager to attend. In between about 2 years we had a problem because of the COVID and we could not meet up, and more of a online kind of an event, and this one is offline. Able to meet a lot of guys, particularly people who help the ecosystem to be built. The companies, the investors, the VCs as well as the techies. Kind of a good exchange of information, and it is happening in the right time where the Plutus is getting matured. A lot of things are happening in the ecosystem. So that's a real good thing happened yesterday. So there are different kind of people. Some people is very keen that, yeah, I've already got a product. I have in a different protocol, I would like to move to Cardano. So what are the ways to do that? How efficient is Plutus? Or what are the things I need to do if I need to move my stuff to Plutus? So that's one kind of people. Second, I have an idea, I'm going to start everything scratch from zero with Plutus. So what is to be done? So it's more of a product related stuff. That's what is the discussion happened around. EMURGO Academy is part of EMURGO Global. I'm sure you know that EMURGO is one of the founding entity of Cardano. So one of our critical tasks is to create an ecosystem for Cardano. So the ecosystem, the moment I say that, it has to be everything from the investment to R&D, product as a whole. But if you take a R&D or a product or an investment, everything, there is one common lane goes. The common lane is availability of trained resources. That's exactly we do in EMURGO Academy. So we make sure that the ecosystem is supported by the trained resources. That's exactly we do. We focus completely on Cardano, building products on Cardano. Sometimes we work on other protocol also, like people would like to move to Cardano, so you need to have the exposure of both. Otherwise, it's more of a Cardano. So we look at as a whole segment-wise targeting the people. For example, the first segment will be the university guys. So EMURGO Academy go to the university, train the people. The idea is very simple, right? You catch them when they are young. So once you start training them in the college or a university, by the time they graduate, when they come out, they are readily available to be deployed. Second is for the working professional. You may be working in a different technology, different protocol, would like to move to Cardano, Plutus, Haskell. So how do you do that? So we support people. Third, you are a large company and you are building products on Cardano, and you want your existing workforce to be reskilled, upskilled. So we do that as well. So moreover, we are in the entire ecosystem of skilling, training people for Cardano. So that's what we do in EMURGO Academy. It's a very interesting question. First, let me answer why blockchain, then I come to Cardano. See, first of all, if I look at blockchain or a Cardano, if I look at a statistical point of view, it's a very simple answer. Like the CAGR of blockchain investment is going about 85%, approximately 75 to 85% year on year. That's a very good way of looking at the market size or the investment coming into that. Second, it really makes an impact on people. That's very, very important. What is a challenge today the world is talking about? Privacy, security. So these are the critical aspects which will be clearly addressed by blockchain. And being in blockchain, Cardano is a third generation blockchain, and it addresses most of the problem, and it is sustainable and maintainable. So that's why we look at a blockchain plus Cardano. On top of all, Web 3.0 is around the corner. And Cardano and Web 3.0 is a absolutely brilliant combination to go forward. And next 5 years, it's going to make change in everyone's life, right? So that way, we strongly believe that blockchain, Cardano and Web 3.0, it's going to be a fantastic combination, and it's going to create multiple factors. One is in terms of opportunities for people who learn Cardano is going to be big. Second, there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are getting into Cardano ecosystem. Third, a lot of impactful projects are happening with the Web 3.0. It's not only about BFSI, like a banking or a insurance industry. It is about e-governance. A lot of governments globally, they would like to move to blockchain Cardano so that the e-governance is taken care. So the future looks really bright with a blockchain, Cardano, Web 3.0. So that's why we have chosen. If you take a learner comes to us for EMURGO, for learning something. So first of all, we split the whole thing into 3 parts, right? The part one is we actually give the technical knowledge. The technical knowledge about the nuts and bolts of the technology. So what is this technology all about? If it is a Plutus, how do you write a smart contract? All those basic stuff. That's the first thing the student gets. Second very critical aspect which is unique for EMURGO is the hands-on. Anyone joins with EMURGO, the hands-on is the topmost priority. At the end of the program, he is supposed to do a project, a live project or a project which is implementable. That makes the difference. See, learning a language is easy, like you read the syntax, okay, this is what, you can go. But only when you take this into a practical approach, when you're going to implement how it works, whether there is an API required or this required, or what would be the challenges, what could be the database. So there's 100 questions will come when you go for an implementation. That is the core of EMURGO, and when somebody joins with us, he gets the exposure. Right? So that's a differentiator for us. The first thing is about if you take the learners who complete the program. If I take the real-time data, the LinkedIn survey, last 2 years survey, it says that blockchain is the top required technology, the most wanted skill. Clearly it's there, right? So in that way, there is a clear gap between demand versus supply. The demand is high and the supply is very, very limited. So that way, people getting a job is much simpler. Being in EMURGO company is into investment all, and we have our own ecosystem where we'll be able to place our learners into the company. So that way, that's a very easy work. Right? You have a certified people available, and there are companies who would like to take them, and that gets done. The second thing is project catalyst. Many of our learners who has the entrepreneurial mindset, they would like to take up the funding and move forward. Already a few of our learners got the funding from Project Catalyst and they started building. Third, EMURGO is a company, that we have an independent business unit called EMURGO Ventures. So we fund great ideas who is going to build products on Cardano. So our learners get exposed to that as well. If his idea or a thought or his entire white paper is selected, then it's funded by EMURGO. So that way, as a learner who completes program with EMURGO, there are 3 options available. And EMURGO plays a very, very important role between the learner, the industry, which is maybe investment side, or maybe building product, or it could be anything. So we play a very, very important role in between. For example, so far in blockchain industry, we speak about the decentralization, public, private. Now, Web 3.0, we are going to cover all 4. Public, private, hybrid, all we are going to cover all the 4 part of it, right? The second thing, it's cutting across all the domain as well. It could be BS. See, when blockchain industry proliferation started, the early adopters were BFSI, the banking, finance, insurance industry, because for them security is very, very important. So that's how it got picked up. But today it goes beyond that. It could be a social media, it has gone beyond all those stuff. So in that context, if I say the traditional way of doing business, blockchain, all stuff, and from there moving to Web 3.0, the first impact is going to be seen in the investment side, right? Today, you've been getting investment only from a set of people. With Web 3.0, the big investments are going to land in the industry. That we have been seeing already. We started seeing that. That's the first thing you'll see. Second, you need a different skill set of people. You have a S12 technology, you have a different skill set, and today you have a different skill set. It doesn't mean that you need professionals who can go and start working from day one. And with COVID, it changed the paradigm shift in the way we work, right? So that's a second thing we clearly see that. Third, we are going to see very, very high impactful projects are going to be implemented. It could be identity management, it could be the certification part. That a lot of duplication happens. So the very, very critical pain points are going to be addressed with Web 3.0 in a very, very fast manner. And you will see it's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years of time. And it's going to make a big impact. Simple. We have multiple ways to reach out. As a business guy, that's my priority number 1. Make sure that people reach us. One is they can write to education@emurgo.io. That's an email ID, monitored 24/7. So you get a response within 2 hours. So that's the first thing. Or you can go to EMURGO website, or you can straightaway go to education.emurgo.io. You can go there, you get all the information. So that way, if anyone feels that, okay, I would like to learn from EMURGO, but I have a lot of doubts. I'm a developer. I write codes in .NET, so on Java or a JavaScript. How do I move to Plutus? Is it possible? How long it will take? If you have all those questions, if you want a personalized discussion with anyone of the EMURGO team, in your email, please mention that clearly that, hey, this is my background. I would like to move to Cardano, but I have some doubts. Seek for an appointment. We are happy to support you. And that's our commitment to the Cardano ecosystem.